Before we start the video, I just want to say, make sure you subscribe. We are on the road to 7,000 subscribers, and once we get there, I will be reacting to all the Xbox videos that led up to the greatest Xbox One S destruction ever. So if you guys want to see that, make sure you subscribe. Anyway, let's get on to the video. Do you remember that South Park episode where Bebe grew a pair, causing the boys to act like down bad cavemen and fight each other? What? Hello everyone, it's me Bobby, aka Variant 4 from Watbox Studios, and we're back with another South Park reaction. Today, we are going to be checking out the episode Bebe's Boobs Destroy Society, an episode you guys wanted to see. But this time around, I'm going to let some other variants take over for this reaction. Please welcome Variant 2 and Variant 5.
Hello everyone, it's me Bobby with an I, aka Variant 2 from Watbox Studios.
And hey guys, it's me Bob from Watbox Studios, but you guys can call me Variant 5.
Thanks for having us on, 4. We're super excited to do this reaction.
Yup, the episodes involving the girls are underrated as hell. You're welcome, guys. Anyway, I'm going to be back here supervising them in case anything goes wrong, but in the meantime, they're in charge, so please be nice to them. Care to do the honors too?
You got it, 4. This is Bebe's Boobs Destroy Society from Watbox Studios' perspective. Enjoy. The episode opens with the boys, well, not really the boys because Tweek is in Kenny's place, but hey, what can you say? It's season 6 after all. Anyway, they go to Eric's house to knock on the door. When Miss Cartman opens the door, they tell her that they have to go back to school again, even after their teacher died.
Yeah, it's weird continuity. Season 6 is practically serialized, so unless you watch the episodes before this one, you won't really know what's going on. But thankfully, we watched all of them, so we're fine. Back to you two.
Miss Cartman tells the boys she'll let Eric know, saying he's in the basement playing with his dolls. And even if the boys are confused, it's all fine and dandy to me. We then cut to Eric in the basement playing with his toys. He places a bottle of lotion in a bucket and lowers it into a hole where one of his toys, Polly Prissy Pants, is. He then proceeds to say the phrase, "It puts the lotion on the skin or else it gets the hose again." Is that a reference or something? 5, you know what it's referencing, right?
Yes, 2, I know what it's referencing. It's Silence of the Lambs. Cartman is Buffalo Bill, and the quote is pulled from the movie.
Oh, I've actually never seen it before. I gotta watch it sometime. Anyway, while he's saying it, he also speaks for the doll, asking for freedom, but Eric continues to torment the doll. Poor Polly Prissy Pants. Miss Cartman then comes down the stairs and tells Eric he needs to get ready for school. Eric is confused by this and tells his mom that his teacher died, but Miss Cartman tells him that 2 weeks away from school was plenty.
You know, this is kind of reminding me of that COVID era. Except this time, the situation actually ended in 2 weeks, rather than 3 years.
Yep. Eric tries to say he's still traumatized by the death of his teacher, but Miss Cartman tells him he'll get over it, to which Eric says this.
But I wanna play!
Dude, he kinda sounds like Caillou when he screams like that. That's funny. We arrive at school where Wendy speaks to her girlfriends.
I can't believe it's been 2 weeks since I've seen you guys. What have you been doing?
Hold on. You're telling me you guys were out for 2 weeks, and not once did you think to get together and hang out? Either Red, Annie, and Wendy live far away from each other, or they were too busy. Who knows the straight answer? Anyway, Bebe comes in and walks over to the other girls and asks them if they notice anything different about her, to which Wendy says,
Oh my god, baby, you got boobs!
which is kinda crazy for an 8-year-old. Usually that shit happens after puberty hits. I think. Moving on. Bebe says they started coming in last week, continuing by saying,
At first I thought they were just mosquito bites, but then they didn't go away.
Mosquito bites, huh? How would a mosquito even get up there? Never mind. Mr. Mackey comes into the classroom and tells everyone to sit down. He tells everyone that he knows it's been hard, but they have to learn to move on and get back to work. Cartman tries to get out of it by saying the death of their teacher still hurts, but Mackey tells them they're gonna hide their emotions with math problems. You know, I should take that advice anytime I feel the need to go on the hub.
5?
What? I'm being honest. Kyle notices Bebe and tells Stan that something seems different about her, to which Stan asks if she's got a haircut. Yeah, that's the safe option. Let's go with that. Clyde then says he's never noticed Bebe until now, even if they were together, and apparently are together now. God, I hate Clyde. Just like 4.
Hey, we don't hate, we dislike.
Sorry. I dislike Clyde. Cartman then says the following to Craig.
Hey Craig, is that the same shirt that baby chick always wears?
I don't know. Why?
It just seems like a really awesome shirt. Yeah, it kinda does.
Yeah, that's a case of plot convenience right there. It's never mentioned in the episode, but Bebe wears this red long sleeve shirt for the entire episode. Even before, she's always wore this jacket. And it's not like because it's hotter, all the other girls are still in their jackets. It's most likely there so her boobs poke through so the boys notice. And slight spoiler, her jacket is never brought up again in the episode.
She has the right to wear what she wants, does she not?
No, I totally understand. I'm just saying. Bebe looks over and sees all the boys staring at her. Because of course they are. That's when Mackie asks her to answer the question 6 times 8. She gets it right, and what happens?
What?
They glaze her. Even harder than Krispy Kreme donuts.
Dude, Baby is really smart. Yeah, I never noticed that before. Maybe she's actually cool enough to hang out with us. Yeah, maybe.
Oh my.
Yeah, not even I would do that. And I'm a glazer myself. Moving on.
Wendy, Bebe, and Red are walking through the hallways, talking about shoes and stuff. That's when the boys come up to them. They tell Bebe they're going to be throwing rocks at cars later and ask if she wants to join. And she agrees to go, saying it would be hecka fun.
Two? She said hella fun.
Oh, I know. But the H word is one of the 13 bad words. And you know how I feel about myself participating in profanity, right?
Okay then.
The boys think it's neat how she said that phrase, and say they should start saying it too.
Back at it again with the glazing. Anything she says sounds cool.
Yeah, it's a bit weird, isn't it? They proceed to leave, but Wendy stops Stan, saying he's never asked her to throw rocks. But Stan uses the excuse that Wendy is his girlfriend and not his friend. When he leaves, she gives Bebe the stink eye.
Yeah, it's bullshit. Bebe did nothing wrong. If you're gonna get mad at someone, get mad at Stan, not her. This is messed up. The boys plus Bebe are at a hill outside of town. Stan tells Bebe how to throw a rock at a car and proceeds to do an example. Clyde then shows through by Clyde handing Bebe a rock while Kybe stands near, waiting for a sneak attack. Bebe then throws a rock and ends up hitting a sedan, causing the boys to glaze her once again.
That was the most perfect throw I've ever seen.
I mean, it was the same throw as Stan, so does that mean Stan is equal to Bebe? Whatever. Kybe then shines through where Kyle tries to show Bebe how to throw a rock, but Clyde intervenes when Clyde tries to show Bebe how to throw a rock as well. That's when, oop, there we go. I've experienced that look before. That's a case of down badness. God help us all. Clyde then runs away, leaving Kybe victorious. I knew it was a good idea to have Kybe as my second OTP, but then an unexpected rival comes in. Stay-Bay. Stan comes in and tries to show Bebe how to throw a rock, causing a fight between Stay-Bay and Kybe. And in that instance, all the boys start acting down bad. In the end, Bebe decides to leave, and the boys go back to normal and return to throwing rocks. Seems pretty sus to me.
The next day at school, everyone was assigned to write a paper and read it out to the class, and Mr. Mackey calls on a random student to read out their paper. He first calls on Clyde, who wrote a paper on why Bebe is the coolest person ever, and Stan complains that's what he wrote about. Oh no, that's not good at all.
Yeah, no shit, too. This man has a girlfriend, and he's writing a paper on why another girl's cool? It's bullshit.
The boys start acting up again and proceed to fight it out, but Mr. Mackey stops it by telling Clyde to read his essay.
My friend Bebe is really smart. She tells funny jokes and knows a lot about stuff. She's good at almost everything she tries. She's awesome. The end.
That's it? It's just a simple sentence about how Bebe is cool without explaining how she's cool? I get there in the 4th grade, but that was pathetic. And no, it's not just because I hate Clybe. Or dislike Clybe.
Mr. Mackey then asked Tolkien to go, and it's revealed he wrote an essay about Bebe as well, saying what would happen if he was Bebe.
Jesus, 2 Bebe essays in a row. Come on, dude, give us something good.
Mr. Mackey decides to call on someone who did not write an essay on Bebe, and coincidentally chooses Bebe, who wrote an essay on her cat Thumper. She explains that Thumper is a gray cat with a white spot who loves to chase his tail, and as soon as she says it, everyone starts laughing. I mean, it's adorable, but it's not really funny.
Yeah, they're continuing to glaze her. Isn't it obvious? I mean, I get Thumper is probably adorable, but come on, they're acting like this cat served alongside the pharaohs in ancient Egypt. It's not that fucking serious, dude.
She then ends by saying Thumper is 12 years old, which is old for a cat, causing the boys to feel inspirational about their pets, especially with Eric and Craig, which makes sense considering Eric has Mr. Kitty, and Craig has a skinny pig Stripe. But in the end, the boys clap. Mr. Mackey then calls on Wendy to read her essay about the new Cold War, to which Eric calls her a dork, and all the boys laugh.
Yup, all of them, including Stan. Like, dude, that's your fucking girlfriend right there, you little shit. Don't laugh at her. No wonder they broke up in season 7. Wendy, Red, and Esther and Millie are at lunch talking about the mall. The boys then come up and ask if they've seen Bebe, and when they say no, they leave to go check the lunch line. That's when Wendy and the others start talking behind Bebe behind her back.
Can you believe Bebe? She thinks she's so cool all of a sudden. I can't stand her anymore. She's such a slut. She's a total slut.
Oh my goodness! That's a vulgar way to talk about your friends.
Yeah, it's fucking crazy. They're blaming her for the boys being obsessive over her. Like they should be pissed at the boys for being down bad bastards. Especially Stan, who's literally dating Wendy. It makes no fucking sense. The girls continue to make false-ass rumors on her, saying she made out with 8 boys in a single minute, lifting up her shirt for the boys at the bus stop, or that her... Okay, that's where I draw the line. I am not repeating what Wendy just said. That is fucking nasty. Bebe then comes over, and the girls call her a slut, while also trying to hide it. Again, Bebe is not a slut because 1, she's not even doing anything like that, and 2, she's 8. If you want to see a real slut, go find Bonnie Blue.
Don't you like her though?
What? Bonnie? Hell no. I like all women, but Bonnie is a fucking psychopath. You know it's bad when OF doesn't even want her. And I'm still offended that 4 and 7 said I like her, because I fucking don't. Sorry 5, it was just a joke. It better have been. I'd rather get neutered before I even touch Bonnie. She's terrible. Bebe ignores the girls' taunts and asks them if they're still going ice skating. But the girls say she could trip and get sucked into no, 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 and no. I am not repeating that. Again, that's where I draw the line. They continue to call her a slut and leave, leaving Bebe there to be sad. Poor Bebe.
Later that day, Bebe is in her room, upset about what the girls said. That's when her mom comes in and asks her what's wrong. To which Bebe says that the girls called her a bunch of mean names, and asks if she's the S word because she hangs out with guys, saying they only think she's smart and cool. Oh, don't you worry, hon, it doesn't make you that at all. I hang out with 6 other male variants of mine, and I'm not that at all, so don't let them strike you down. Bebe's mom then explains how when she was little, the boys didn't find her smart at all, but one day they started seeing her as smart, saying big smarts may run in the family.
It's something big, alright, but it's definitely not their smarts. The boys all meet up at a buffet to discuss Bebe. Cartman says now that Bebe's the coolest, smartest, most awesome person ever, they have to kick someone out of the group to make room for Bebe. Why not just have 5 friends? I know they're still hurting over Kenny, but come on. Butters was like an unofficial member of Stan's gang, so Bebe could be the unofficial member this time round. No? Cartman then tells Kyle it's been fun and that they'll miss him, and hopes that he'll find new friends down the road, ending off with giving him a nice watch and some peanuts. Damn, dude, that's fucking cold. The others are obviously pissed by this because they don't want to kick Kyle out, as Kyle has been there since the beginning, and Cartman does the cutest,
Please?
But the boys still say no. And then Cartman then tries to kick out Tweak, giving him the same shit he gave to Kyle. Jesus Christ, he's just like the current president. He's trying to control everything without any mutual agreements. The boys still disagree, and Cartman asks how they're gonna make room for Bebe. That's the way to do it. Kick out Cartman. And would you look at that? More Kaibe. This is peak. Also, I made a mistake before. Kaibe is my 3rd OTP. 4 has Kaibe as his 2nd, so my bad. Cartman then comes up to them all pissed off and tells everyone fuck you, except for Bebe, who's still cool. Of course.
The boys are hanging up a poster that says Bebe for president, and Wendy walks by asking them what they're doing. The boys then explain that they want Bebe to run for class president, even though Wendy's currently class president, saying the vote was last fall. But the boys say Bebe is a lot smarter and organized than Wendy, concluding by saying they need Bebe to lead them. So they're gonna try and impeach Wendy to get Bebe elected?
I know, it's weird too. I don't even think that's how it works in class politics. They're just being horny idiots.
I see. Wendy says that Bebe is not smarter and that the boys are drawn by something else, not saying what they're being drawn by.
Yeah, but we the audience know what they're drawn by.
The boys are confused and Wendy says they're all dense.
Yup, they sure kinda are. Stan, Kyle, and Tweak head over to Bebe's house to watch Terrence and Philip together. That's when Timmy, Bradley, Kevin, and Francis also show up for the same reason. The boys are obviously pissed by this and say Bebe is their friend, but the others say Bebe is everyone's friend. The boys are about to go into another down bad caveman fight, but all agree to watch Terrence and Philip together. Thank God. Stan then knocks on the door and asks Bebe's mom if Bebe is home, to which she says she's not, but she'll be back later. The boys ask where she is, and Bebe's mom tells her that she's at Cartman's house playing lambs, and surprise, surprise, the boys aren't too happy.
Eric is showing Bebe how to play lambs. She shows her Precious how to load his mom's lotion down the hole and what to say, and they seem to be having a great time. Their interaction in this episode is honestly pretty adorable. Too bad Eric and Heidi didn't have all the same momentum in season 20, but either way, I still love it. Sadly, that moment is interrupted when the boys come down and ask what they're doing, and confront Bebe how they were supposed to watch Terrence and Philip together, and how they also need to work on the campaign, and that's when they start to fight again. And it gets serious. Like, totally serious. Everyone is getting hurt, things are being thrown, and then Stan picks up a bone and... oh my goodness! The scene ends with Stan going up, declaring himself the winner.
What a bunch of fools. The boys are all sitting outside Bebe's house, continuing to act like cavemen. Bebe's mom then comes in and tells Bebe they're all outside to see her. We then get closer shots of the boys acting like cavemen. Tolkien messing around with the trash can, Craig trying to get close to the door with Stan standing by. The whole works. Bebe's mom then brags that Bebe now has a lot of gentleman callers, but Bebe asks why the boys act differently around her. But her mom just says she's blossoming into a woman at 8 years old.
5, you do realize that puberty for girls can start at 8, right?
Damn, really? I did not know that. My bad. Bebe then responds saying she doesn't feel as smart as the boys tell her, and says they only say it because of her hooters. Great job, Bebe. You figured it out. But her mom ignores it, saying women who are part of the Stevens clan are always told they're smart. But to test this, Bebe asks her mom to answer 6 times 8, the same exact question she was asked in the beginning of the episode. But her mom replies with,
"Oh, sweetie, those are 2 completely different numbers."
Oh, shit. That's a fucking problem, man. The fact this woman survived this long without knowing basic multiplication, let alone basic math as a whole, is concerning as hell. Bebe's mom goes outside and tells the boys to go away, saying Bebe can't come out. And once the boys head out, the weirdest scene plays out. A rocket ship happens to crash in front of the boys, and 2 astronauts come out and ask the boys to call 911. But the boys still act like cavemen in front of them, which makes them think they travel back in time. What is this scene, dude? It's so random, but also so great. In that instance, the astronauts unalive themselves, and Bebe proclaims that having boobs sucks. I kinda understand. 2 people fucking died. But hey, maybe there's a way to take care of this problem. Maybe tell the boys to stop. Maybe start wearing a minimizer bra. Maybe going back to use your jacket. The possibilities are endless.
I want to have breast reduction surgery.
What?
Bebe goes to the doctor's and meets with Dr. Hallis, where she tells him that she wants breast reduction surgery. She proclaims that she has $212 in nickels and a gold watch to pay for it, but sadly, the doctor says they don't offer breast reductions to 8-year-olds.
Kinda reasonable. Usually you have reduction if your boobs are too big and they're causing you back, neck, and shoulder problems. And in Bebe's case, her boobs are the size most big-chested women wanted. And the only problem is that she's being glazed by a bunch of down bad boys.
Sort of true, but you understand where she's coming from. Anyway, Bebe responds by saying this.
Why not? Britney Spears got fake ones when she was a teenager. Why can't I have mine taken off?
Bebe, that's not really gonna help your argument. If you're trying to get reduction, don't use an example of implants. Plus, Britney getting implants was not real.
5, this episode was 2002. I don't like the idea either, but that's what they thought.
I see.
The doctor then says making breasts larger is beautiful, while making them smaller is, quote, insane.
I know it seems that way, trust me. To give an example, I was shocked when I heard Siri Doll got a reduction, but guess what? She's still beautiful regardless, so it's not a big deal.
Who's Siri Doll?
The phone assistant, obviously.
Did not know they had a last name. That's funny.
Yeah. I think we should move on, shall we?
Well, alright. The doctor asks why Bebe hates her boobs so much, and she explains that the boys have been treating her differently, and that it could keep going on in the future. The doctor claims that's silly, but the exact thing he claims is silly plays out. An attractive blonde nurse comes in, and he acts happy, but then a not-so-attractive brunette comes in, and he's not happy.
Let's be real, they're both attractive in their own right. No need to judge people.
That's a fair point. Bebe then begs for help because she doesn't want things to be handed to her whole life, because if things are made easy, it will cause her to become lame, and her chances of becoming a lawyer or a marine biologist to become zero. But sadly, nothing can be done. The doctor can't perform breast reduction on Bebe due to her being 8, but then he says this.
If, on the other hand, you'd like to make them a little bigger, I think now might be the right time to size up,
Whoa, Dr. Epstein, calm your ass down! She's only 8 years old! If she can't have reduction, she can't have implants! Weird ass. Later on, Sharon goes to Randy and says that Stan's been acting differently and doesn't know why. We then see Stan drawing boobs on the wall with crowns while saying, Ata! Randy understands that Stan has started noticing breasts, and Sharon is happy because he's now becoming a man. Okay. Randy then goes up to Stan and tells him that now he's getting older, boobs are going to become important in his life, but then says, quote,
You can't let them get in the way of your friends. There are a lot of boobs out there, son, but they're just boobs. Your friends are forever.
It's a good thing to say, but friends aren't always forever, hence why it's spelled with and, but either way, he's speaking facts. He then says that the boobs he sees now may be important, but those boobs will get replaced by another set, and then they'll come and go, and then he'll find a pair he wants to marry, resulting in those boobs becoming the most important pair. He then ends by saying that if he learns to control his urges, Stan will see that boobs have no real power. Well said, Randy. Well said.
We cut to Bebe's house at night where Bebe is asleep, where her boobs start glowing and speaking?
Did I smoke weed before I watched this episode?
We don't smoke weed. We're all against drugs.
Then why am I looking at an 8-year-old girl's breasts speaking to one another?
I don't know, but let's move on. Her breasts explain that the boys are at war and that they grow larger every day. And they're about to say something about the town, but Bebe wakes up, and of course, she's terrified and calls for her mom. Her mom then comes in, and when Bebe says it's about her breasts, her mom ignores it and says she's just becoming a young lady. But Bebe says that her boobs were conspiring about destroying the town.
Oh, so that's why it's called Bebe's Boobs Destroy Society. Because her boobs are planning to destroy society. I get it.
Bebe's mom says that her boobs have the power to unleash itself when she gets older, and that they feed off the misery of men and bring woo wherever they can. But Bebe declares that she's not going to let them ruin her life.
Heck yeah, Bebe. We then cut to the next day, I think, where we see Dr. Epstein once again, asking a patient if they're sure they want to go through this certain procedure. So I guess he changed his mind on the reduction, huh? We then cut to Wendy, who says she wants to get breast implants? What the fuck? Dude, I thought that was Bebe asking for reduction, but Wendy? That's something I did not expect to see. Wendy's mom told her she's too young, but Dr. Epstein over here says girls these days are pressured to be their best, and small breasts make them feel unimportant. What the fuck are we talking about here? Wendy's mom then clarifies that she's only 8 years old, but the doctor, along with Wendy, say that she's not too young to feel flat and not pretty. Again, what is this shit? The doctor says that implants aren't for everyone, and that he needs to assess her physical and mental condition to see if augmentation is truly the best way for her to go. But when Wendy says she has $3,000 cash, the doctor says,
You pass, let's do this thing.
This man truly is not beating the Epstein allegations. He is way too comfortable giving an 8-year-old girl implants. Like seriously, you cannot tell me this man wasn't on the island. Wendy's mom is concerned that he's willing to do it right now, but the doctor explains that the procedure is very easy. They cut into her armpit, place a plastic bag in there, and fill it with salt water. Damn, never heard of that. Only knew about silicone. Wendy's mom is still not sure about it, but the doctor assures her that if they want to help someone's self-esteem, why not do it for $3,000 cash? That's a bit concerning, but hopefully that's the end of that. What the fuck?! What the fuck is this? I can't show it, but this scene is fucking wild. It shows Wendy without any fucking clothes on, except for a pair of underwear, and the doctor cuts into her breast, then flips it over, showing the Oh my god, that's fucking gross! And then the doctor forcefully shoves the implant in there, covering himself in blood! It's fucking creepy! Matt, Trey, what the fuck were you thinking when you made this scene? People actually had to animate that! Ugh, I cannot talk about this anymore. Moving on.
Looks like I'll be doing the ending. Awesome! The next day at school, Mr. Mackey discusses to the boys about their failing grades, but all of them are still acting like cavemen, asking where Bebe is. But Mr. Mackey ignores it, saying they need to learn to study more and fight less. That's when Bebe comes in wearing a cardboard box around her body, and the boys go back to normal and question why she's not as cool as she once was.
Speaking of the box, it's no bra, but it's definitely an option, so I respect it.
That's when Stan pieces together that it was Bebe's boobs that were making them act like the way they were, and tell the others that they were putting illusions in their head.
AKA, they were blinded by horniness.
Kyle then complains that he doesn't want that much power to control him, but Stan assures them that if they learn to control the power, they'll all be okay, resulting in the boys making up and announcing that they'll never let boobs control them again. That's when Wendy walks in with even bigger boobs, and the boys react with...
They all laugh, so at least they're getting over it. But hang on, Stan is laughing. Dude, that's your fucking girlfriend! That's terrible, dude!
I know, it's pretty terrible. But the episode ends with Butters touching them while making fun of them, and the boys continue to laugh as Wendy stares in horror.
Alright, that was the end of that episode. And before I let 2 and 5 review, I'll give my brief thoughts on the episode right now. When I first watched the entire show in 2021, I actually skipped this episode because my brother watched it without me, but when I did watch it later on, I was not a fan of it. I thought the concept was stupid, and I didn't appreciate it as much, but rewatching it now, it's actually pretty amazing. It's laid back, it's nothing too extreme, and it focuses on a character we barely see nowadays. And while it does have the Wendy scene in there, which is weird, I enjoyed this rewatch. Now, let's take it over to 2 and 5 to review. Bebe grows a pair of boobs, and the boys act down bad towards her, resulting in them fighting like caveman, and almost dismantling the main four when they kicked out Cartman.
The other girls were also terrible. They were supportive in the beginning, but when Bebe started getting attention, the girls poop talk her behind her back and called her a bunch of vulgar names.
Also, Wendy's operation was not needed at all in the episode. They could have easily cut from the doctor's office to the school, and it would have had the same impact. I don't know why Matt and Trey thought it was a good idea to show Wendy's operation full on, especially since Wendy is 8. That feels like they're unintentionally pandering to the dark side of the South Park fandom, and no one should have to pander to them.
But thankfully, at the end of the episode, Bebe is able to put a stop to this madness by wearing a cardboard box, allowing for the boys to make up and not to be affected by boobs anymore. Also, we never see Bebe's boobs again after this episode, because either A, her boobs shrunk as they couldn't get more power, B, she started secretly wearing a minimizer bra under all of her clothes, or C, and the most obvious one, the animators discarded it as drawing an 8-year-old with boobs is weird. Overall, we both enjoyed this episode. Even though it's got weird scenes, we had fun. 8.5 out of 10. 1 point off for Wendy's operation, and half a point for the girls. And I give it a 9 out of 10. All those problems are in 1 point.
Yeah, I also give it a 9 out of 10 as well. I definitely misunderstood it, and it's definitely a classic within Season 6. Anyway, hope you guys enjoyed. Please make sure to like and subscribe for more Violet First, Escalating, and South Park reactions.
Make sure to leave a hype.
Check out the membership.
And thank you to the channel members. You guys are very awesome.
Anyway, we're Watbox Studios.
And it's been a good time.
Peace out, and see you guys next time.